Once there lived a man named Latif. He was neither a beggar nor a lazy person. He would often be found sleeping under a tree, gazing up at the sky, lost in thought. If someone gave him food, he would accept it, but he never asked for anything. The townspeople had mixed feelings about him. They sensed he was intelligent but couldn't understand why he chose to live this way. One day the king of the land, known for his wisdom and dedication to his people, was making his rounds through the kingdom when he noticed Latif lying under a tree with his legs stretched out. Curious, the king asked his ministers about the man. One minister replied, "Your Majesty, this man doesn't speak to anyone and never begs. However, when he does speak, his words carry great wisdom. Many say he is very intelligent." Intrigued, the king approached Latif and introduced himself. He presented a complex problem he had been struggling with for some time. Latif pondered for a moment and then provided a clear and precise solution. The king was amazed. This man had solved a problem that had baffled his ministers for weeks. Grateful, the king gave Latif a gold coin and left. A few days later, the king returned with another problem, and once again Latif offered a brilliant solution. This continued several times, and the king grew to respect Latif deeply. One day the king suggested that Latif should come to the palace and live there, where he would have shelter and could continue to help the kingdom. Latif agreed, and soon he was given a place in the palace. Within 2 months the king developed a special bond with Latif, which made others in the kingdom envious. One of the ministers, consumed by jealousy, whispered to the king, "Your Majesty, you have grown close to Latif, but do you know his true nature? Every day he leaves the palace and goes into a dark room. We don't know whom he meets there, but I fear he is plotting against you." Concerned, the king decided to investigate. The next day he secretly followed Latif and saw him enter the dark room. The king approached the door, knocked, and announced his presence. When Latif opened the door, the room was empty. Latif had changed from his fine palace clothes into his old worn-out garments. The king, puzzled, asked, "What is this, Latif? What are you doing here?" Latif replied calmly, "This, Your Majesty, is my true environment. The clothes I wear in the palace, the comfort and luxury, are all temporary. They are what you have given me, but they do not define me. I come here every day to remind myself of who I truly am. It prevents me from being consumed by greed and ego." The king was struck by Latif's wisdom. He realized that true self-awareness is essential. Temporary happiness, wealth, and status can deceive us, leading us astray, making us forget our true selves. The ego that comes from these things is dangerous. To avoid falling into this trap, we must always remain connected to our true nature.